Space Ain't Boy Productions.
Featuring the Fear Meter.
Good afternoon and good evening. Welcome to the Fear Meter. I am your humble host, Space Saint Boy, and in this series, we dive headfirst into the digital darkness, dissecting and scoring some of the most terrifying moments in video game history. Today, you're gonna want to try to avoid getting bitten and bring your hazmat suits because we are covering one of my favorite video games of all time, the 2002 horror masterpiece, Resident Evil 1, the Remake.
Resident Evil.
This isn't just any remake, folks. This is the glow-up of the century. We are talking about the 2002 iteration that took the OG 1996 version and said, hold my beer, watch this transformation. We went from this pixelated nightmare to one of the most beautiful cinematic horror epic games of all time. Shinji Mikami, the visionary director behind the original, famously decided to produce the remake just because, well, he felt like the original didn't age like wine. In fact, he felt like it aged more like sour milk, just due to the software limitations at the time. And thank the gaming gods he did, because well, we went from Minecraft graphics to graphics that still hold up to this day. And it's honestly amazing to think that these two games are only 6 years apart. It's crazy what technology could do in such little time. So with the GameCube's power and its new upgrades, well, he decided to try to recreate the original horror concept. Initially, the dev team thought about using full computer graphic animations for the environments, but then reality smacked these guys in the face like a licker's tongue because there was hardware limitations. So they decided to go backwards and using 3D models on top of pre-rendered backgrounds, a technique that kind of birthed some of the most eerie yet undeniably sexy, beautiful looking games in existence. So many environments that were birthed with this technique, like the Spencer Mansion that we're going to be diving in today, and you cannot tell me that you wouldn't want to spend the night here. Me personally, I think about it like this: it might be a fun experience, but I might get my head ripped off by a Neptune or something. So maybe I'll consider it in the future. Now, while using pre-rendered backgrounds was a stroke of genius, an amazing idea, not every idea was as good because the developers actually toyed with the idea of making all enemies invisible from the get-go. Now, luckily, this idea was tossed, and thank the Lord, because we do not need Norvistador the game. That shit would suck. But if you are a masochist and you like to torture yourself, you can unlock invisible mode, beating the game on normal or hard difficulty with both Chris and Jill. But seriously, if you like this mode, what is wrong with you? Please get therapy, because this is not okay. So in terms of gameplay, the developers actually kind of wanted to keep this as close to the original as possible. But when the game came closer to completion, they started making more big, meaty changes. The inventory needed a much needed upgrade, allowing players to carry standard items like Chris's lighter or Jill's lockpick. Also, defense items were added to the game, well, to make it feel less soul-crushing and a little bit easier for new players. Honestly, I adore some of these changes, like adding Jill's lockpick and Chris's lighter makes these two characters feel even more distinct. It's not just a cosmetic change anymore. A lot of people agree that Chris has the harder gameplay route, well, one, due to the less item slots, and two, if we're talking about Jill's lockpick, it buys you so much time, it's not even funny. So our protagonists have some sweet ass upgrades, and I love most of them, but what about the enemies? Are there any differences? And I'd say yes, the things that actually contribute to the scary moments have some of the biggest changes in this game. For example, the regular zombie actually has the potential to come back to life. I'm talking about Crimson Head, motherfuckers. And if you don't know how this works, if you don't properly dispose of the regular zombie, these mofos can now come back to life. But also there's new enemies such as Lisa freaking Trevor, and I don't even have time to unpack her right now. We will talk about this demon later. So with the GameCube's new hardware backing the remake, the team was finally able to bring their original concept to life. And the question remains, how scary was this original concept? How scary is the Resident Evil 1 2002 remake? And of course, being scared of something is extremely subjective, right? So that's why I cooked up this highly specific criteria that you see on screen right now. Now, to sum it up in a few words, anytime I feel that developers were actively trying to scare the player, I will be considering this a scary moment. Every scare will be scored on a scale from 0 to 100, and at the end of the video we will have a final score for this video game. And a quick mention before we get into this thing, we are going to be doing this from Jill's perspective, since she seems to be the more popular and arguably less masochist choice in this playthrough. So with that all being said, get ready to clutch your controllers and let's get into today's fear meter. We kick things off in classic Resident Evil fashion, with a monologue of course. This sets the scene. There was a bunch of gruesome murders taking place in the Arclay Mountains, while this takes place near Raccoon City. So, in response to these murders, a team called Bravo Team is dispatched to investigate.
Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone, situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we are searching for the helicopter of our compatriots, Bravo Team, who disappeared during the middle of their mission. Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people.
Bravo Team is one of 2 elite law enforcement units, making up STARS. STARS just stands for the Special Tactics and Rescue Service. So while Bravo Team is investigating, they go completely radio silent, literally chopping off all forms of communication. So what do? We send Team Alpha to go investigate where Team Bravo is. And this team consists of the legendary Chris Redfield, the master of unlocking herself, Joe Valentine, the super mysterious Rey Mysterio, Albert Wesker, and then the king of jokes, the dad himself, Barry Burton. Oh, and we cannot forget about our helicopter, our pilot, the guy who's totally not a coward, and he won't abandon us, I promise, Brad Vickers. In a desperate scramble for survival, our remaining Team Alpha members are forced to seek refuge in an abandoned mansion deep within these woods. And then, Brad literally abandons us. I'm talking about Brad Vickers, yes, our flight attendant. The man that's supposed to help us get out of this situation just leaves us stranded. What a little piece of shit, Brad. You really couldn't have just hung in there for a bit more? Like seriously, you didn't even save one person, you just saved yourself. But don't worry, if you're like me and you're not a fan of Brad, he does get his karma in Resident Evil 3. Don't worry, we'll get to that game in a future fear meter, but just know that Brad does get to pay for his sins.
You stay on the door. I got this fucker. Come get some.
Before we even get into the mansion, I just want to talk about this opening scene and how much I love it. Listen, I adore the dark, oppressive atmosphere of this, but literally the camera angles remind me of something that I would see in a high-budget horror movie. It also introduces the zombie dogs as such a big threat. I love these little hasty freaks, but I just think this does an amazing job of showing every character in it. It gives you an idea what's happening, and to me, it's so much fun.
This way.
Eventually, we do have to stumble into the mansion, and Joe immediately notices that, well, someone is missing. And who is that person? It's Chris. Chris, seriously, bro, you had one job, buddy. How do you, like, lose the entire squad? So Joe, actually being a supportive partner and actually caring for Chris's well-being, actually tries to look for Chris. But Wesker, being an amazing captain, quickly shuts that shit down. Really fast, actually.
This place.
Not quite your ordinary house, that's for sure.
Hey, Wesker, where's Chris?
Jill, no. You don't want to go back out there.
Wow, what a swell guy. I would just love to have Wesker as my captain. I feel like he would really care about me. After hearing a random ass thump in this mansion, our captain, well, he does the most responsible thing. He sends Jill and Barry to go investigate while he does the hardest task of all time. He stands there. And he stands there. And he watches the area. He's gonna secure that shit, I promise you that.
But we've got to find...
What was that? Chris?
No.
Jill, go and investigate.
I'm going with her. Chris and I go back a long way.
All right. You two go. I'll secure this area.
Stay sharp.
Barry and Jill move forward Scarface style, literally busting down this door, and then Barry states the obvious, because honestly he does that shit a lot in this game. Like, he states the obvious all the time.
Blood. This mansion is gigantic. We could easily get lost. A dining room.
No shit, dumbass.
And then finally, we are actually able to explore the Spencer Mansion. And I'm gonna just mention this now. We all know how beautiful and aesthetically pleasing this setting is. So I'm gonna get my love for this out of the way now. Spencer Mansion gets all the love it truly does deserve. There are so many layers to this room. Every room does fill you with genuine curiosity. Like from the room with the yawn and its broken down atmosphere where you're kind of just wondering, how the f did this big ass snake get in here? But to the more like clean areas, just like the main mansion dining hall and all the more beautiful stuff. You just wonder what was going through Spencer's head when he was creating this thing. The sound team also did an amazing job with this mansion. Every creak, every distant zombie moan, the spiders crawling on the walls, it all tells a beautiful story. You could tell that Spencer had every single square foot of this mansion designed to his exact twisted vision. We see that through his puzzles and his traps. And what was he trying to hide? There's so much to this, and I truly love it. We also get some beautiful, terrifying backstory on the mansion itself. There was a man named George Trevor. He was the architect who helped build the Spencer Mansion. Yes, I'm talking about Lisa Trevor's father. This man was killed just due to the fact that Spencer didn't want nobody to know any details about this mansion, making you even more curious. What was Spencer really trying to hide? The fact that Spencer felt the need to kill George Trevor because he didn't want no one to know about what lies in the mansion says it all. And I could truly talk about this mansion all day, but right now, this is about the scary moments of this game. But if you want to see me talk about this mansion in a future video, let me know in the comments. Shit, I'll make a top 10 Spencer Mansion facts video. So after Barry finds some blood on the ground, because of course he does, this is a zombie game after all, he does pull a Wesker, however, sending Jill to go investigate. And you know what he does? He secures this facility, doing the hardest task of all time.
Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Let's just hope it's not Chris's.
But as Jill is investigating, we finally get our first scary moment in this video game. Just watch this. I love everything about this scene. It is so perfect. There's nothing over the top done to introduce the main enemy of this game. Just a slow, menacing turn of a zombie's head. And truly, this is all you need. Sometimes less is more, and this does a perfect job of displaying that. This is as basic as an enemy comes. It's just a Resident Evil zombie, but to me, this is a perfect enemy. Every single enemy that is a zombie in this game feels like a legitimate threat. They're in tight halls, so running around them is not as easy as it may seem. Also, these guys are bullet sponges, so running might be the better option sometimes, really making this a game of fight or flight. Also, I kind of mentioned this earlier, but just hearing the zombie moans from a distance is utterly terrifying. What I love about fixed camera angles, sometimes you can't see the zombie on screen, but you can hear them. And it truly does freak you the fuck out. This isn't like future games in the franchise. You actually have to think about every single zombie that you run across. So for that, I'm giving this a whopping 95% on the fear meter. It is, to me, hard to beat when it comes to being a basic enemies. Whether we're talking about Ganados from Resident Evil 4 or the Moated from Resident Evil 7. It is hard to beat the foundation of all enemies when it comes to horror games, is the zombie. So if you're anything like me, you ran away from this first zombie and you let Barry handle it. And literally, Barry will kill this zombie for you, making it that you don't have to waste any ammo on this guy at all. To me, this was done intentionally, literally letting the player know that sometimes it's just better to run away from the zombies. And I love that detail.
Look out! It's a monster!
Who you calling a monster?
Let me take care of it!
So after Barry handles the zombie, Barry asks some basic ass questions.
What the hell is this thing?
What does it look like, dumbass?
And we go to the main hall, and then out of nowhere, Wesker is gone. So after a very poor attempt in looking for Wesker's Rey Mysterio ass, Barry breaks one of the most cardinal sins of all time, and I'm talking about horror cardinal sins. He wants to split up with Jill because Barry is stupid. This man is retarded. But it's okay, he makes up for it by giving Jill the lockpick, because she is the master of unlocking, of course, and we're gonna need that shit actually a lot.
Oh, I almost forgot. It's a lockpick. You'd make better use of it.
Thanks. I may need it.
After we explore some more of the mansion, still searching for Wesker, we eventually find ourselves in what seems to be a cemetery yard. Yes, another yet beautiful, but somehow still very scary environment. We eventually find something called the Book of Curses in this creepy vampire dungeon-like room. Seriously, Spencer, you were into some kinky ass mofo shit. The Book of Curses gives us the mansion key, which allows us to open up this door and eventually find ourselves walking down this hall of pictures. In this glass container, we see something like a dagger, and then this happens. This is the kind of stuff that I love, where it's so subtle and it just happens. It's not over the top. You just see Jill being terrified and you're wondering what she's looking at. But yes, it is just another regular zombie, and I'm giving this an 88% on the fear meter. Something subtle, something basic, and I love this whole scene. After killing a bunch of zombies, Jill feels the need to take a nice warm bath.
Did anyone ever teach you manners? You're supposed to knock first.
You know what, on second thought, let's skip the bathrooms in the mansion for now, Jill. I would personally not be taking any shits if I was in a zombie-filled mansion. Jill doesn't get any more lucky because as soon as we grab this shotgun, we get booby-trapped and then the ceiling starts dropping. Unlike the Resident Evil 4 ceiling trap, I actually do like this ceiling trap, because one, it's just not shooting giant red dots on the ceiling, and two, we do get some of the best Barry dialogue of all time.
Barry! Help!
Jill! You in there?
Barry? Get me out of here! The door's jammed!
Stand back! Grab my hand! That was a close one. A second late, you would have fit nicely into a sandwich.
Oh, Barry, don't you realize you're corny as
I just had something I wanted to check. Anyway, We should get back to searching for Wesker and Chris.
Although this dialogue is good, it still doesn't beat the original.
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life.
Also, I feel the need to add this into the fear meter because I did the same thing in my Resident Evil 4 video. And just to stay consistent, I will be doing that in this video. That being said, if you do not like me doing traps on the fear meter, just let me know in the comments below, because we can just stick to the enemies and the more obvious scary moments of the game. Truly, your feedback does actually help me, especially to the fact that the fear meter is very new and has the potential to grow with your guys' help. So let me know your guys' opinion, and I promise to read them and take it into consideration. Thank you. That being said, I am giving this ceiling trap a 47% on my fear meter, for the fact that 1, it does require a decent amount of thinking, and 2, the fixed camera angles kinda does make this genuinely terrifying. Literally, you're being squished to death by a ceiling dropping on you. We move forward, kill some zombies, and then we eventually find a dog whistle with a note hinting that one of the zombie dogs may have something hidden very important in its collar. Moving forward eventually has us find Barry. He gives us some of that fizz, and this will surely yellow and mellow out some of those zombies.
Look what I've found.
What?
A can of fizz. It's sure to yellow and mellow those things. It's yours. Hopefully you won't have to use it.
Barry and Jill split up again because they're both See ya, Barry. We end up going outside for a breath of fresh air. After we use the whistle, we actually end up putting down the poor creature and find a hidden key in its collar. Man, after finding all these key items, it's time to finally hit the save room. So I'm gonna use this opportunity to talk about them. Listen, there is not a song or a theme that makes you feel as calm as Resident Evil 1 save room theme does. Even though we are in this horrifying situation, somehow being in this room really does make you feel calm and brings you back down to earth. To me, this just puts you on an emotional roller coaster. As soon as you leave this room, you're in like panic mode again, like, oh my gosh, is there a zombie around that corner? And I love that. I think they do that on purpose, and I just wanted to give this save room and the save room theme a quick shout out. Thank the Lord this isn't Resident Evil 3, because we don't have to worry about Nemesis breaking in or anything. You know what's not so relaxing though? Mother effing Crimson Heads. Where do I even begin? Just watch this scene. This is what true horror is, okay? These guys are called Crimson Heads. These are zombies that are not properly disposed of, either A, by decapitation, or B, by burning them with a lighter. In other words, if you properly don't dispose of the zombie, they will later reanimate into these terrifying demons. These red bastards are actually theorized to be the stage between mutation of a zombie and a licker, which I always found as an interesting concept because there are so many similarities between a Crimson Head and a licker. Crimson Heads have razor sharp claws and are capable as running as fast as the player. So it's honestly just in your best interest to kill these guys and dispose of them as soon as you can. To me, what makes these enemies so menacing is that every single zombie that you face in this game actually has the potential into turning into one of the Crimson Heads. So yes, they add an extra layer of fear on the zombie, but in reality, we are just scared of the Crimson Heads themselves. I'm giving the Crimson Heads a whopping 98% on the fear meter. To me, there's no other way to improve on the regular zombies than just by making them extremely aggressive with claws and red skin. This shit absolutely rocks, and I love everything about them. After avoiding these red bastards, we move further into the mansion, with the main goal being finding these cursed masks. We find one of these masks after poisoning this zombie plant. Although this plant is unable to move and not much of a threat of you, you will have to dispose of this plant at some point. If you get too close to this overgrown cannabis plant, or aka this giant weed plant, it will lash out at you and whip you. But don't worry, you don't need to get close to this plant at all. We actually can just use a herbicide to poison the plant and it'll die slowly but surely. We find the next mask in a room actually pretty close to us, in a room full of knights, giving me nightmare flashbacks from Resident Evil 4. But thank the Lord these knights don't get up and start trying to attack you. Before we're able to find the next mask, we actually find a man named Richard. Richard is a STARS member serving as a communication expert for Bravo team. Richard was actually the only link back between headquarters and the team out in the fields, aka Bravo team. Unfortunately for Richard though, when we find this man, he is in a dying state, saying that he was attacked by a quote-unquote mother effin' large-ass snake, giving us foreshadowing of what is to come.
Richard! What happened? You're wounded.
This whole place is a killing zone. There are monsters.
What did this to you?
A big snake. And it had to be poisonous.
Poisonous? Richard, hold on.
Now, we actually have the opportunity to save Richard if we run off to the medical room and grab the serum. But if you're anything like us, we're way too lazy to go out of our way to save this man, and we literally let him die in front of our very eyes. But honestly, we all make mistakes, and since I feel so bad about this, let's just go play a song for our boy Richard. R.I.P. to the man.
Yo, Richard, R.I.P. bro, my fault. At the same time, how you gonna leave should get bit by a snake? You know what, Richard, I take it back, it ain't my fault. You're the one who got bit by a snake and got caught. Rum, you really needed that medicine. A matter of fact, if I seen you like that, I would let it happen again. Blame me, it could be my mistake, but I'm not the one who got bit by a snake. You really got bit. You done made shit.
As we mourn Richard and play this super sad song, this actually allows us to grab this emblem that we need to solve this puzzle. This grants us the Manja key. I just love how Resident Evil games make keys look so appealing. Whenever I buy a house, I'm making every single key in that house Resident Evil themed. I don't care. We use the Manja key to open up this dirty looking door. I mean, this door is definitely dusty compared to the rest of them. And what's behind this dusty door? It's a big ass motherfucking snake, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Yawn, baby. And the Yawn is a snake of enormous proportions. Like seriously, who let this dude out of the zoo? This horrifying creature is the first boss that we encounter in this game. Eventually, if you blast him enough, he does run away, however, like the slithery snake that he is. That one was for Richard. Even though we did let him die, it's not our fault that he was in the position that he was in. It was the Yawn. Let's be real. Okay, so as much as I hate it when Resident Evil games just turn animals giant and toss them at you, I have to put some respect on the first ever to do it, which that being the Yawn. And in my opinion, if we're talking about the setting and everything that builds up to the Yawn, I actually think the Yawn is a pretty terrifying creature. Okay, let's talk about the setting first and why I feel like it aids to the Yawn fight. It's such a small, ran down room, and you would think that they would give this giant enemy a giant room to fight in, but no, they said you're gonna fight him in this small ass ran down attic. Also, you're probably just wondering how long has this giant ass snake been in here since everything looked like it's been torn up from wall to wall. And to me, just having Richard being injured before this situation shows you how terrifying this creature is, and just with one bite, you could end up like Richard, dying from its poisonous fangs. So with that all being said, I personally have to take my feelings out of this and be as objective as possible. So I'm going to be giving the Yawn an 86% on the fear meter. And this won't be the last time we see this slimy bastard, trust me. Now that we beat the giant snake, we actually could grab another mask and be on our way. You know what though, Jill, you actually don't look so good. You should take a seat. Okay, or you could just collapse, that's fine too, I guess. Good thing there is a mysterious man here to save us. Oh wait, I recognize that gun. That's Barry! And Barry is kind enough to take Jill to a save room. Thanks, Barry. Even though Barry saved us, Barry B acting suspicious. Emphasis on B because that's the next kind of enemy that we are dealing with. We are tasked with making our own bug bait to finish this collection of insects to grab another key item. But just when we think we are safe, the bee that we put on display literally just jumps out of its spot. To me, this is a jump scare, honestly unexpected and being a very random moment. I do enjoy the unpredictable nature of this scare, okay? It is very random to have a puzzle piece attack you. That being said, this big ass bug ain't as intimidating as it could have been. These guys are definitely more scary in numbers, and I really do feel that in this scare. I'm giving this a 52% on the fear meter, but that just be my opinion. See what I did there? The B, my opinion? Okay, I'm done with the corny jokes. I'm sorry, Barry's getting to me and he's rubbing off on me now. So we still need one more death mask, and we find this mask after doing this little puzzle that uses your observation skills. Basically need to match colors with portraits, and it's a little fun puzzle that I actually genuinely do like. After doing this puzzle that I genuinely like, we take all the masks that we have gathered to that vampire dungeon from earlier. But don't worry, I'm sure nothing will happen, right? Nope, it's never that easy, because in this casket that seems to break every single time that we put a mask up on display, this motherfucker pops out. It's a Crimson Head, but this isn't just any type of Crimson Head. This is Crimson Head Prototype 1. Long story short about this Crimson Head, this guy was an Umbrella USA employee who was exposed to the strain during a lab accident in May 1998. Unfortunately, there was only so little of research that had been taken on human exposure to the strain at that point in time, so they decided to keep this man for further study. But eventually they found out that he was actually too dangerous after he killed 4 workers. Like shit, I would hate to work for Umbrella because you don't know what kind of freaking zombie that you're gonna be dealing with. Like screw that shit. The lab chief ordered that Prototype 1 be placed in a storage where he was placed inside of a coffin inside the Spencer's Mansion's cemetery and become a part of the facility's anti-intruder defenses. Unfortunately for us, these intruders are actually us because we are the person to free this disgusting Crimson Head in this coffin. I'm honestly happy that they utilized the Crimson Head here, because what else would you have put in here? And I think this does a perfect job of being scary. I mean, we could tell from the beginning when we see this casket that there is going to be something scary in here, but we just didn't know that it was going to be a stronger version of a Crimson Head, aka Prototype 1. I'm giving Prototype 1 a solid 94% on my fear meter. In my opinion, there is no better atmosphere than this vampire-looking dungeon for one of these red demons, and I do love the little backstory that we get on Prototype 1, and it's always fun to know about the enemy that you're facing. Once we're done killing the red freak, we are able to get another key item. We actually find ourselves outside for once, walking down this creepy-ass pathway. We eventually see a sign with some of the most emo shit that I've ever read in my entire life. Cave of Hatred, Valley of Destruction, the Summit of Madness. This literally seems like something that I would write when I was 14. But seriously, Resident Evil, what the fuck? I could have came up with this shit myself. Let me think. Dungeon of Sadness, Chamber of Pain. Okay, like literally you guys could have came up with something a bit more creative, but whatever, I find it fun. If we keep following the path, we eventually find this creepy ass cabin straight out of Evil Dead. We find a crank in this cabin, and then this shit happens. Where do I begin? You know that feeling when you were a kid and you were home alone because your parents stepped out for a sec and you decided to be doing something that you shouldn't have done? Maybe like go on inappropriate sites or something. That's kinda how this feeling is. You hear this door open and you immediately shit yourself. I love how random this shit is, because you pick up this crane and just think that you're finding a key item, but no, it's Lisa motherfucking Trevor. And if you're on your first playthrough, you thought it was a zombie, or maybe Barry. Shit, I wish it was Barry. But no, you couldn't have been more wrong, because it is Lisa Trevor. After Lisa Trevor gives Jill some crazy ass brain damage, like seriously Jill, how are you not dead? Lisa Trevor has some of the longest arms that I've ever seen in my entire life. She should go fight in MMA. But you're probably asking yourself, who is Lisa Trevor? Lisa Trevor was the first person to become the progenitor adapter. Fortunately, having survived the mutation from the progenitor strain, Lisa had enhanced abilities and made her a regular test subject for Umbrella Pharmaceuticals. Now, if you're anything like me, you put on your Lamborghinis and you do not attempt to fight this hoe because she is the creepiest bitch that I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm giving Lisa Trevor a 96% on the fear meter. She's quite literally the scariest looking monster in this game, and not only that, there's so much curiosity that Lisa Trevor has, and I don't think there's another enemy that has more backstory and a more tragic tragic story than Lisa Trevor. Also, if you attempt to kill Lisa Trevor, you're wasting your time because she is quite literally unkillable. But I honestly like this because running away from her always makes you feel like she can pop out at any moment. After we run away from the unkillable Lisa Trevor, we finally use that crank that we found. We use this crank and drain up all the water, which allows us to cross this bridge. We walk past this beautiful waterfall and it reminds us how beautiful this game really is. Every time I play this game or I look at this beautiful mansion, I always wonder how like day-to-day life must have been before this outbreak. Like I just have to think, was it nice? Cause honestly, there's so much beautiful areas that I'm like, dude, shit, if there was no zombies running around, this would be so just beautiful. Chef kiss. You know what, screw it, when I'm a billionaire, I'm just gonna recreate the entire Spencer Mansion and throw a Resident Evil theme party where everyone has to dress as Resident Evil characters and you guys are all invited. But I call to be Carlos because that is my dad and no one else could be him besides me, okay? But everyone else can be whoever they want to be from Resident Evil game, okay? I want to see a bunch of Albert Weskers. Anyways, after we are back indoors, we eventually walk through these double doors. And oh crap, that is a big ass spider. I like this spider being introduced in this fashion because it just crawls towards you, really making you feel that arachnophobia. Now, if you're scared of spiders, this is the enemy type that may prove true to make you shit your pants. So I'm giving these creepy crawlers a solid 75% on the fear meter. Another enemy type that truly benefits from fixed camera angles. Okay, so you know what's not nearly as scary but happens right after? These motherfucking bees in the wall. This is a very poor attempt at a jump scare and it's just so telegraphed. There's a giant hole in the wall and you could tell there's bad vibes off rip. But what do? They toss more bees at you and I'm giving this a disappointing 50% on the fear meter. I'm tired of all this bug play. You know what I'm not tired of though? Snooping around because we decide to listen in on Barry and a mystery man's conversation. We walk in on Barry and ask him some questions, but he is clearly distressed and needs some fresh air.
You heard. I think age is starting to take its toll. Talking to myself is becoming a bad habit.
Talking to yourself? You all right? What's gotten into you?
I'm getting you worried, aren't I? But don't, I'm alright. I guess this creepy mansion has gotten to my nerves. Anyway, I think I'll go outside, get some fresh air for a change. Don't worry, I'm just going to get some fresh air.
But Barry shouldn't worry too much because he's not the only one that's going to be stressed in a bit, because we are about to enter the aquatic laboratory hidden under the mansion. And you know, nothing bad's gonna happen here, right? Okay, unless you're a complete idiot, you already know my ass is lying. This shit is full of giant ass motherfucking sharks. As soon as we enter this aquatic laboratory, we are literally hit with one of the most awesome POVs of all time. It's a motherfucking shark, baby. These dudes are known as Neptunes and they are vicious. This aquatic lab makes this all the more terrifying. We're not like above the water, we're like literally knee deep in this shit, and when I'm usually knee deep in something, it's a whole lot of a better time than this, cause these sharks do not play. Once we avoid some of these sharks, we enter this control room and shit is about to get even more crazy, because once we try draining the water, the Neptunes get extremely pissed and try to break through the glass that separates you from them. We then have to complete this puzzle, allowing us to guard ourselves from the attack. But these damn sharks still try to break in because they don't give a damn. We drain all the water, forcing all the sharks to reverse drown. You know, they can't breathe air. Just when we think we are done with the fishy bastards, we get attacked by one after trying to turn on this switch. And it can honestly catch you off guard. In my opinion, I like everything about the Neptune aquatic area. I think this is genuinely scary, in like a cinematic way though. Every time I play through this section of the game, I feel like I'm in a horror movie about sharks and I'm no longer in a zombie infested mansion. As soon as we enter the laboratory, we feel the need to run instead of fight. These sharks have the advantage in this area, and it really does feel that way. We don't even feel safe when we're in the control room with the damn glass between us because these big ass motherfucker sharks are trying to break through the glass that is keeping you safe. And everything about this, I love. Even when you think they are all dead, one of them comes back to life trying to give you one more scare, and that is all the more terrifying. I'm giving these guys an 85% on the fear meter. Bonus points for their death animations, bringing the score to a 90%. Look, I feel like getting water monsters to be genuinely terrifying is difficult enough, but I feel like they hit the nail on the head here. I'm giving these guys a full score of 90%. After we're finally done with the aquatic laboratory, we move forward. After a ton of puzzles and a ton of walking, we really don't get our next scary moment for a while, unfortunately. We end up getting saved by Barry after getting attacked by this nasty looking ass plant. Barry always seems to be in the right places at the right time. What a nice guy. But don't worry, Barry's more of a dumbass than he is a nice guy because he suggests that Jill and him split up again. What a dickhead.
Something about that mansion still bothers me. But I think I'll stay here a little longer. We should split up again and investigate.
But honestly, I'm just sick of running into Barry. He seems to be the only mofo that we end up running into. But thank the Lord, my prayers are answered because we run into Wesker this time. He seems to be worried about Jill and then starts talking crap about Barry. But unfortunately for us, he also lacks zero survival skills because this man also wants to split up. Like seriously, what the fuck? Why can't anybody just decide to stick together?
There are still rooms in that mansion we can't get into because they're locked up. I've been looking for ways to...
Okay, if there's anything, I'll go back to the other mansion.
I'm counting on you.
We make our way back to the main mansion and find a radio. Let's just hope this damn thing works.
Let's hope the thing still works.
No, literally, Jill, that's exactly what I'm saying. I really do hope that shit works. But finally, we make it back to the main mansion, and we can finally just chill and relax. Come on, man, I didn't even hit a save room yet. Like, what the fuck? These giant lizard looking mofos are known as hunters. Hunters are a species of biological weapons, aka BOWs, originally developed by Umbrella Corporation. Hunters were developed to counter the 10% immunity rate of the T-virus, meaning that these dudes are literally made to hunt people that are not infected by the virus, which is just great for us. This is basically a can of Go Fuck Yourself by Spencer. To me, there was no better way than to introduce the hunters than a POV shot. This truly does show the aggressive natures of these scaly bastards, and I hate them and love them at the same time. There are a few enemies that can represent all of Resident Evil, and the hunters actually do that. These guys come in out of nowhere, and I love everything about them. I'm gonna have to give these guys an 89% on the fear meter, but they get bonus points for their decapitation kill that is just damn straight brutal. There's a reason why hunters are in so many games in the franchise, and I'm gonna leave it at that. As we explore more of the area, we find a new face, Ulrico, and before we're actually able to hear anything from Ulrico and get some clarification on the situation, Ulrico is shot.
Is that voice Enrico's?
Yeah?
You're alive!
Stop! Are you with anybody, Jill?
No, but why?
The stars are finished. Someone is a traitor. Umbrella set us up.
Enrico!
Traitor? Who?
Ulrico is one of those characters that a lot of the Resident Evil fan community is always curious about and wish we would have seen more. A lot of people wish that he was actually the Resident Evil 0 protagonist instead of Billy. And I can see the argument of actually having an actual member of Team Bravo being the co-protagonist of Resident Evil 0, which makes more sense. But me personally, because I'm a biased mofo, I actually really do enjoy Billy, but we'll get to that game in a future fear meter. After Elrico dies, we are chased by a huge motherfucking boulder, and you guys know how I feel about this shit. I am counting this as a scare, because again, I did it in my Resident Evil 4 videos. That being said, I do feel like this is done better than the Resident Evil 4 ones, because this is more of a trap and not just zombies pushing a giant ass boulder at you. I'm giving this shit a 45% on the fear meter. After we're done avoiding this big ass boulder, we do get something even bigger. We get this giant motherfucking spider, and I'm talking like King Kong sized. I personally do enjoy the webby atmosphere of this room. I also enjoy that the only way to get through this room is by slicing these webs off this door, making you feel like you have to deal with the giant monstrosity right before your very face. Not to mention that this room has regular sized spiders to accompany the big bastard. It's funny that I'm calling these guys regular sized now, but they're really not. They're also big motherfuckers. I'm giving the King Kong size spider though a 78% on the fear meter, just for a lot of the same reasons that I gave the less big spiders their score. I mean, this is just a bigger and angrier version of them spiders, so you guys could understand my point. As we move forward and deeper into the cave, we do some more fun puzzles, and just before we are able to take this elevator down, we run into the man, the myth, the legend. It's Barry! I'm just happy that Barry is genuinely safe.
Jill!
Barry? Thank God you're safe.
Hey, that's actually what I'm saying. Like, Barry, I'm happy you're safe, man. Barry and Jill both take this ride downwards, and not knowing what they're getting themselves into, we hear a disgusting but very similar sound / grunt that we heard before.
What the hell is that sound? It could be a person. Jill, go check it out. We had enough surprises for one day. I'll stay here and secure our escape route in case something happens.
Barry, bless this man's heart, because he thinks that this grunt could be a human. But I think Barry is just fucking stupid, because of course it's not a human. When have we seen other humans in this mansion? Barry also does something that we are far too familiar with. He sends Jill to investigate the sound, because I guess everyone's just making Jill their little. You'll never guess what Barry does. He stands there with his finger up his ass as he secures the area. As we investigate that sound, it turns out it is Lisa Trevor, because we all assumed it to be. After we run away, we eventually find Lisa Trevor's bedroom, and this is one of the reasons why I love Lisa Trevor. As an enemy in this game, there is so much depth to this character and so much lore that it just makes it all the more tragic. You find out so much about how sad Lisa Trevor past is, making you not only terrified, but making you sad when you have to fight this creature. And it all makes sense. Like, even when we explore her room, we find things like dolls that she kept, making you realize that Lisa Trevor actually never had a chance to grow up. And in that way, it just makes it all the more tragic. We realize this even all the more when we find this note.
I feel dizzy after that shot they gave me. I don't see Mom. Where did they take her? She promised me that we would escape together. Did she escape alone and leave me behind?
Just these words alone let you understand how confused Lisa Trevor may have been. The true horror of this character isn't the monster that we are facing. Yes, Lisa is scary, but the true horror is what Lisa went through to become the monster that we are dealing with. Once we are back to the main mansion, we need to explore the library to find the book that has a key item that we need. But since we're so damn unlucky, we run into an old friend, and it's a motherfucking Jan, and he's slithering around a library this time like straight out of Harry Potter gone wrong.
Parseltongue won't save you now, Potter. It only obeys me.
I actually love this encounter more than the first one because I feel like this jump scare is actually very well put together. Again, utilizing fixed camera angles as soon as we make this turn. We hear this glass break and don't know what it is until it's a giant ass snake heading towards us. The second reason why I like this encounter more than the first one is because of the setting of the library. The yawn is literally barely able to fit between this bookshelf and this fence. Also, the animation of the yawn slithering from the top floor to your level is all the more terrifying. I gotta give this second encounter an 85% on my fear meter, which actually beats the first encounter by a few points. They're both amazing scares in their own rights, but I just slightly prefer the second one more than the first. Let me know what you guys think. After we're done killing this giant slimy bastard, we don't have to deal with this guy no more. We do a ton of more puzzles. We then run into the scariest creature of all time. Oh, my bad, it's just Barry. I thought that shit was Lisa Trevor again. I don't know why, I just got her grunt stuck in my head. Barry might as well have been the yawn because he attempts to pull some of the most snake activities that I've ever seen in my entire life. He attempts to aim his gun at Jill's head, but Jill ain't having that crap and she stops that shit real quick.
Jill, you're alive. I was worried, because I thought you were...
Start talking.
Calm down, I didn't want to do it. Believe me, I can explain.
Don't lie to me.
Before Jill's able to press Barry on the sus activities, Lisa Trevor joins the conversation. I told y'all I heard Lisa Trevor. I knew I wasn't just making that shit up. Before we are actually able to fight Lisa Trevor, we are actually hit with two options, like if we're playing Until Dawn or Life is Strange.
No time to talk. Jill, hand me my gun.
We have the opportunity to give Barry his gun back. We remember all the good times that we had with Barry, and we realize he actually is a true gentleman, so we decide to give him his gun. If you don't give Barry his gun, Barry will meet his demise shortly after this fight with Lisa. The way to beat Lisa Trevor is by pushing off these 4 stones that will eventually open up this casket in the middle. What's in the casket in the middle is actually Lisa Trevor's mother's remains. Opening this will make Lisa grab her mother's skull and jump to her demise. Well, we think that's actually it for Lisa, but if you actually play the Umbrella Chronicles, you find out Lisa Trevor actually survives this somehow, and Wesker is the one who actually ends Lisa Trevor's life.
She appears to be stalking me. Your desire for eternal slumber shall be granted.
Truth be told, having Barry help you out in this fight will greatly determine how difficult this will be. This is a very small platform and it doesn't help trying to avoid her. I think this setting is actually the perfect area to send off Lisa Trevor. Having her mother's corpse in the middle while she fights for her own life is somewhat beautiful but scary at the same time. I'm giving this second Lisa Trevor fight a whopping 97% on the fear meter. Bonus points for the note that we find in the stone casket, actually pushing the score to 100%. Yes, this hits the 100% club, only being 2 so far in fear meter history. Let me explain. I don't think there is an enemy that I've ever met where the more that I learn about this character, the more that I realize how horrific this transformation truly is. But when a character has this much backstory, you could only imagine the horror of her tragic transformation. There's also so much to love about this encounter in general, like the fact that you can actually choose to give Barry his gun or not. Little things like this just adds to the overall experience of this encounter. But I can't help but feel like this fight is perfect, hence the score, and why I put it over the first encounter with Lisa Trevor. Yes, you can argue that seeing Lisa Trevor for the first time is what's truly scary about her, right? But I'd argue that having that lingering fear, knowing that there's gonna be another moment where you run into Lisa Trevor again and again, is even more scary. It's called building suspense through a lingering fear, knowing that something's coming from you, but you don't know when. Again, I'd love to hear your comments. Let me know which Lisa Trevor encounter scared you the most. Now, the last thing I want to mention is the note, the thing that gave this the 100% score. Well, just listen to this.
Mommy's afraid of forgetting everything, especially the memories of you and Daddy. What do your faces look like? How we used to be together.
They're all starting to disappear into somewhere dark in my mind. Oh, Lisa, I wish I could hold you in my arms right now, so that I can hold on to our wonderful memories of you and Daddy.
What could be more scary than being forgotten by your loved ones? In fact, for Lisa Trevor, not just her loved ones, her only loved ones. That's what's the true terror of Lisa Trevor. Well, damn, that shit got really dark. Barry, please brighten up the mood.
That was a close one. A second late, you would have fit nicely into a sandwich. Look what I've found.
What?
A can of fizz. It's sure to yellow and mellow those things. It's yours. Hopefully you won't have to use it.
Okay, thank you, Barry, because that shit was way too depressing for us. Anyways, after we kill Lisa Trevor, we head to the final location of this game, which to me is what I would assume that Spencer was trying to hide, aka the lab. The lab is one of those areas that intrigued my curiosity the most. I could only imagine all the experiments, all the things, all the testings to create the viruses that we know today. I just wonder how Spencer really went about his day. 9 a.m. I wake up, I have my coffee. 11 a.m. I'm working on the progenitor virus. Like, dude, you are so like cartoon levels of evil. Like, you and Dr. Doofenshmirtz should definitely hang out and become best friends, Spencer. I think you guys would be great for each other. As we explore more of the lab area though, we do some fun puzzles, and just when we think we've seen it all, we run into these motherfuckers called chimeras. Yes, this enemy is one of the most unsettling visions that you could possibly see. Now, chimeras could be unsettling for multiple reasons, but one, chimeras are designed for surprise attacks. These dudes literally crawl on ceilings and they blend into dark environments like no other. Also, for a little bit of lore, these guys are very similar to hunters in the way. The way they were created was by grafting insect DNA to human embryos. Which to me, I'd rather be grafted to a damn lizard than an insect in my personal opinion. Just their appearance in itself is very disgusting. Literally, you could see these guys' organs through their skin, and I just find it nasty. I gotta give these guys a strong 81% on the fear meter. This is what you call a solid enemy, and in my opinion is extremely underrated. Not to mention that when you get the fuel capsule, when you run into any of these dudes, you will explode. No, like literally, you will explode. So to avoid this, you gotta walk real motherfucking slow like you Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees, except you're the good guys, so it doesn't usually work out for the good characters that walk slow. After we're done with all this slow ass walking, somehow we are way too fast for Barry's dumbass.
Jill!
Barry!
You could have at least waited up for me, you know?
Let's go.
But Barry's not just dumb, he's a backstabbing son of a gun because he betrays us once more. But actually, we find out that he's actually being manipulated by Wesker. Wesker has his family held captive and Barry is willing to do anything to save his family, which is understandable. Jill, being the reasonable human that she is, isn't too happy, so she calls out Wesker on all his shit. Wesker isn't a fan about Jill's opinion though, so he takes out his aggression on Jill.
You'll be free of all this anyway.
Why eliminate stars?
Believe it or not, that's Umbrella's intention.
You're just a slave of Umbrella.
Smart girl. But I think you misunderstand me. The things you mentioned are nothing. I'll burn all of them along with this entire laboratory. Barry, go up on the ground and wait there.
Barry.
You gotta love Barry. He must really be afraid of Umbrella.
You and Umbrella took his family, you bastard.
Oh!
Umbrella? Well, I used some carrots and sticks to cow him, but it had nothing to do with Umbrella. I just used Barry for my personal interests.
Then Wesker finally reveals his ultimate plan. While gathering data on Umbrella, Wesker had his own agenda. He intended to steal the BOW developed in the mansion, the Tyrant. This super soldier, Wesker wanted to steal it for himself. Wesker saw immense potential in this disgusting ass monster. But just like the Tyrant, you know who had potential this entire game? Mother effing Barry. He shoots Wesker before Wesker tries to take out Jill. But before Wesker is able to die, he actually releases the tyrant onto Jill and Barry.
Shit! Damn it!
Jill and Barry together. In hell.
You could tell that the Tyrant is an accumulation of all the research that Umbrella did. You could tell that this is a super soldier, that this is basically everything that they wanted to create in terms of making a BOW. To me, the Tyrant is just naturally scary. I mean, this literally is one of the most menacing things I've ever seen in my entire life. I also enjoy the lab environment for this enemy because you could see all the other attempts of making a Tyrant in this room, which seems to me to either be unfinished Tyrants or failed Tyrants, which makes it all more worried because you're like, damn, are they gonna release multiple Tyrants on me in this game? But thank the Lord, they do not. After we defeat the Tyrant in the lab, the whole place is about to blow because again, this is Resident Evil games and they just love making things explode.
Wesker must have set it off. Let's hurry.
But before this whole place is gonna explode, we go find our boy Chris. But this dumbass is trying to have a whole conversation before this place explodes, and Jill ain't too retarded, so she tells him we gotta go. But before we're able to escape, of course Barry and Chris try to do some heroic crap. And no guys, this isn't a good idea.
Damn it! We're almost there! Jill, you just get in contact with Brad.
No!
We can make it. Jill, ladies first.
Chris!
Would you let me have my moments too?
All right. We'll rendezvous at the heliport.
We decide to let Chris have his moment because that's what he wants, I guess. It turns out Barry and Chris are just fine as we're about to escape. But no, the Tyrant is trying to ruin our motherfucking parade. But this fight is just more of the same fight as earlier, except we have this big ass area and a time limit now. I'm giving the final boss of this game a strong 92% on the fear meter. In terms of aesthetic and lore, the Tyrant really does pull his weight. Although they could have really hit the weak point on this Tyrant a lot easier, I'm just saying it's still very creepy. And it really does build up to being this ultimate weapon. I think the Tyrant is genuinely terrifying, aesthetically and all over. The one negative thing about the Tyrant, in my personal opinion, is the boss fight itself. It really is an easy fight, and in my opinion, it doesn't affect the scare factor that much, but the fact that he's so easy is just genuinely disappointing for a finale of the game. I mean, this fight is truly very easy. You shoot him a couple of times, and to make this even more easy, they give you a rocket launcher. Because of course they do. We defeat this Tyrant with this rocket launcher, and we finally say goodbye to the Spencer Mansion for now.
Look what I've found.
What?
A can of fizz. It's sure to yellow and mellow those things.
Resident Evil 1 still lives up to this day. With its amazing graphics, fun puzzles, and terrifying enemies, many people, including myself, think that this is the pinnacle of the franchise. But the question is, how scary is Resident Evil 1? Let's tally up the numbers at the scorecard. I considered 18 of these moments to be scares. Resident Evil 1 lands at an impressive 80% as the average score. To me, an 80% isn't just good, guys. It's damn near perfect. It shows how effectively that they were able to use and time these scares perfect. It's not over the top, but it's a perfect amount of fear for the perfect Resident Evil game. I'm giving the King of Screams award for best scare to none other than the tragically terrifying, relentless, unkillable Lisa Trevor, with the runner-up being the Crimson Heads, who scored a close 98%. To me, Lisa Trevor is a little bit more terrifying due to her tragic backstory. The next award is the Crybaby Award for the worst scare, and I'm giving it to the whack-ass boulder. Look, I get it, Resident Evil 4 had boulders, this game has boulders, but I freaking hate these boulders. Please just get them out of our Resident Evil games. The runner-up for the worst scare is the bees in the wall, because these guys also sucked, and they were a very big buzzkill. I'm sorry, okay, I'll stop with the bug jokes. It's just funny to me, okay? The last award is the Heart Award for my personal favorite scare, and I'm giving that to the Neptunes. Listen, I love sharks, so when you combine that with zombies and you get zombie sharks, it's gonna win in my opinion. So that gets the Heart Award. This journey through the Spencer Mansion has been a wild one, to not say the least. From its groundbreaking graphics to its chilling atmosphere and unforgettable enemies, Resident Evil 1 truly does stand the test of time in all great horror classics. If you guys enjoyed diving deep into the horrors of Resident Evil 1, you guys are in luck, because we already faced the Ganados in our Resident Evil 4 Fear Meter video. Click here to check that out if you're interested. But get ready, because we are going to be hitting Resident Evil 2 Remake in our next Fear Meter. You don't want to miss that. If you guys enjoy exploring the scariest moments in gaming history with me, please let me know by hitting that subscribe and like button. It truly does mean the world to me, because I am a one-man army. And doing this YouTube shit, it really isn't easy, but it means the world to me just to know that you guys are being entertained. As I always say, God bless, and I'll see you guys in the next one. If you made it to the end of the video, I just wanted to say thank you for watching the entire thing, and it truly does mean a lot that you guys are able to find entertainment in my content, because I put a lot of work into it. Also, I just want to apologize to all my current subscribers, because being consistent is something that I think is very important, especially to let you guys know that I care about giving you guys content to watch. And I have been slacking in my consistency, so I apologize for that to all the people that are currently subscribed. That being said, I am focused more on quality over quantity, and I hope that this video was able to show you that I have actually been putting a lot of effort into my editing and just making the videos themselves more entertaining throughout the entire thing. Especially with the Fear Meter, I don't feel like I'm making videos. I feel like I'm making movies, and I know that sounds crazy, but an hour plus content is not easy, you know, especially if I'm doing everything from making the script to the thumbnail to the editing the video. And I want you guys to know that I'm taking this channel more from a professional angle, and I'm going to continue to do so. That being said, we are going to be trying to get one Fear Meter out every month, and you guys could expect it at the beginning of the month, the first Sunday of every month. The first Sunday of every month. So you guys are getting this one. I believe it's going to be, I could actually check the calendar right now. You guys should be getting this one on the 6th of July, and the next one that you guys are going to get will be the 3rd of August. So yeah, we're trying to get these once a month, and then I'm going to be trying to live stream every week.